Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Shoaib Abro, lecturer in English. I teach at Government Arts and Commerce College, Larkana. Today I'm going to teach you the Abbot of Canterbury. I hope you will enjoy my lecture. This piece of verse is an interesting and amusing ballad. It is based on verbal tricks. There is a wonderful story about the cruelty and justice of King John of England. He decides to behead the Abbot of Canterbury, but the shepherd of the abbot rescues his master from King John by answering three complicated questions. Dear students, Abbot is the head of a monastery. Just as businesses have bosses and teams have coaches, the monastery has an abbot. The word abbot comes from the Greek abbas, which means father. It's a title with honor. An abbot is a superior of a monastery, the father of the fathers. As far as Canterbury is concerned, is a city in England. It's a cathedral city. Structure of the poem. The Abbot of Canterbury is a ballad of unknown poet telling an ancient story consisting of 100 lines of regular rhythm. King John was a very cruel man. He ruled over England by sheer force. He heard that the Abbot of Canterbury had reputation and wealth and was living with great pomp and show. He kept a better house than the king himself. He entertained 100 men in his house every day. He had a large number of servants and waited upon him. 50 of them wore velvet coats and gold chains. The king thought that the abbot got his wealth by foul means. He, therefore, wanted to punish him, so he sent for the abbot in his court in London and asked him to explain how he got his wealth. The king also expressed his fear that the abbot was working treason against his crown. The abbot told the king that he never spent anything which was not his own, but he spent his own money which was obtained by honest means. The king did not excuse him. He told him that he had committed a great crime. At last, the king put him 3 questions and declared that the abbot would be beheaded if he failed to answer his questions. His first question was to tell him exactly what was the king's worth. When he was sitting on his throne with him pretty crown of gold on his head among his lords and nobles. The second question was to tell him how soon he could ride the whole world. The third question was to tell him what he was thinking at that time. The abbot was much worried. He told the king that these questions were very difficult for a man of poor intelligence like him. He asked the king to give him 3 weeks' time to answer his questions. King John agreed to do so. The abbot went to the wise men of Cambridge and Oxford to find out an answer to these questions. But no one could find a required answer to these questions. At last, the abbot rode back home and met his shepherd. The abbot told him the whole story. Fortunately, the abbot and the shepherd bore resemblance to each other. The shepherd put on the clothes of the abbot and took his staff and went to the court of King John in disguise of the abbot to answer the questions. The king could not recognize him, and therefore, addressing him as Sir Abbot, asked him the answer to his questions. The shepherd answered the first question, saying that Jesus Christ was sold among the false Jews for 30 pence. His worth was 1 penny less than that of Christ. His worth, therefore, was 29 pence. The shepherd answered the second question by saying that if the king should rise with the sun and ride with its speed, in this way he would be able to ride around the whole world in 24 hours. The king was much pleased to hear the shepherd's reply. Then the shepherd answered his third question. He said that the king was thinking that he was the Abbot of Canterbury, but actually he was only his poor shepherd and had come to beg the king's pardon for his master, the abbot, and for himself. The king was so greatly pleased with him that he expressed his desire to make him the Abbot of Canterbury instead of the previous abbot. But the shepherd said that he could neither read nor write. So the king gave him a pension of 4 nobles a week and pardoned the abbot.